Rylan have helped engage our minds and focus our thoughts each week, and we're grateful for their time and their talents to do so. The Johnson family has lent their musical talents to help us praise our God, and we've all been enriched by the readings and prayers and communion thoughts presented by many of you, whether you're from here in our local community or halfway around the world. So while we've been separated due to COVID-19 restrictions, in spite of these unprecedented circumstances, we've continued to worship our God together as a family. And as we've now been there and done that, we've come to realize what's possible despite the situation or the distance between us. As an example, Lisa and I were able to tune in this past weekend while visiting our kids in Mississippi to not miss out on the opportunity to be a part of the virtual assembly. That's a valuable thing, and by way of emphasis, we want you to know that there are no plans to end our digital worship anytime soon. We plan to continue offering online digital worship into the foreseeable future, even after the pandemic is over and life returns to something approaching normal, whatever that may look like. For those of our number who aren't able to meet in person, as well as for our online visitors who are tuning in, some regularly, some for maybe the first time, an online option will continue to be available. In fact, right now we're exploring ways to enhance and enrich this offering as a way to reach out and touch hearts and lives for Christ in an ongoing way. That being said, many of you have been wondering when we'll have the opportunity to begin meeting together at the building again. After much discussion and prayer, the elders have made the decision to reopen our building for worship next Sunday, June 7th. We will do so following the guidelines communicated in a letter that went out this past Friday. As stated in that letter, our goal is to provide a safe environment and a meaningful worship experience that honors our Lord Jesus and encourages our hearts. That's a tall order, what with new safety requirements giving a different look and feel to our worship practices, but that's our goal. To address the former, providing a safe worship environment, we intend to follow the governor's guidance for houses of worship. First of all, those of us who are 65 years and older, or who have disabilities, or who have serious respiratory or cardiovascular conditions, or who have compromised immune systems, or who simply are not comfortable returning to public gatherings yet, we should not gather until a later time. We do not expect, nor do we think it wise, for those in any of these categories to begin attending on-site worship at this time. And for those of us who aren't in any of these categories and plan to attend, let's state the obvious. If you aren't feeling well, you should not come to the building. If you're symptomatic, have a fever, or have run a fever in the days leading up to Sunday, or have been in close contact with someone who has tested positive for the virus, at least in the past 2 to 3 weeks, you should not come to the building. In any of these instances, please make the choice to worship online. We want you here, but we want you here healthy. Secondly, we expect that all attendees will practice proper social distancing at all times and that all attendees will wear a mask. Gathering together for the first time in a long time will cause some of us to feel the need to shake hands, to embrace, to sit close together, just like we always have. We need to fight that urge for the time being and fight it hard. Let's show our love for one another by not hugging, by maintaining distance, by doing everything we can to keep others healthy. Now, it's okay to visit with one another, highly recommended in fact. That's what's so special about attending in person. However, maintain a buffer between yourself and the other person or persons, and anyone else in the vicinity for that matter. This includes all areas of the building, the foyer, hallways, auditorium, wherever. In the auditorium, let's make sure to keep aisles open and not infringe on those already seated or those trying to find a seat. While on that topic, available seating in the auditorium will be specifically designated. Do not sit in pews that are marked off limits. Sit near the ends of available pews and maintain at least 6 feet between family units on a given pew. Larger family units are encouraged to sit on longer pews so that you can all sit together without encroaching on folks who may be sitting on the other end of the pew. And at the conclusion of the assembly, we'll need to pay attention to how we exit the auditorium, being very aware of the potential to congregate too closely as we make our way out. We come in at different times, but we go out at the same time, so let's all do our best to maintain proper spacing and avoid crowding each other as we leave. As we attempt to reopen our meetings safely, practicing social distancing is critically important. So is wearing a mask at all times. Confession time. I don't like wearing a mask. It's not particularly comfortable. It's hot. It makes my glasses fog up. I like nothing about wearing a mask, and I certainly don't wear one at home. But I will be wearing one when I'm at Cedar Lane, not so much because I'm concerned about getting sick, but because I don't want to contribute to you getting sick. So bring your mask if you have one and wear it. If you don't have one or you forget to bring yours, we'll have a limited number available at the building, so pick one up and put it on. The last thing we want to happen is for a joyous occasion like being together again turn into a time of sadness because of an avoidable illness or something worse. Finally, note that our assembly will be a bit different from our past practices. Entry into and exiting out of the building will be more tightly controlled than in the past. As you enter, greeters will have hand sanitizer available for your use. We will not be passing communion trays or collection plates. Rather, self-contained disposable communion packages will be available on tables as you enter the auditorium. Pick those up as you enter before taking your seat. Collection plates will also be located on the tables. We ask that you place your contribution in a tray as you enter or as you leave the auditorium. Also note that we will not hold classes or children's church or have a staff nursery until a later date. The elders believe that by following these guidelines, we can open our building for worship and provide a safe environment for all who attend. At the same time, we recognize that our most vulnerable members need to and should choose to remain safe at home for the foreseeable future. We anticipate and to some extent expect that a number of you will continue to participate in online worship until the situation changes and it becomes safer for you to attend in person. In this interim period, our goal is to mesh our on-site and online offerings to provide a meaningful blended worship experience for all, with those at home being virtually in attendance via a live stream feed, and those in attendance seeing and hearing scriptures being read and prayers being offered and thoughts being shared by those not physically in attendance. Again, we're still a family regardless of our location. So, some of us will assemble next Sunday at 9 a.m. to worship, with others, perhaps a larger number, continuing to participate online. Regardless of where I am or where you are, I look forward to worshiping with you. As expressed in the letter, the elders are extremely thankful for your faithfulness and your commitment to the Lord's work at Cedar Lane during these challenging times. You've continued to participate in worship in large numbers, you've contributed financially while away, and you've stayed connected via emails and phone calls and Zoom calls. We commend you for that and ask for your continued prayers and support as we move forward in the days ahead. Please continue to be prayerful that God will bless us, that this disease will run its course, and that we can once again, all of us, worship together in the same place. But until that time, we know that our God is in control. Lisa and I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great week.